This video will show you how to replace the rear shock assembly on a Ford Transit-250. This will be located behind your rear wheel. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Now the first thing we have to do is safely raise and support the rear of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. If you have a hubcap, let's remove that first. To remove your hubcap, we're going to carefully pry it out of place. I'm using a pry bar. Once you have it dislodged, just a quick inspection. We want to make sure it is reusable. We can set that aside. Let's continue on with the removal of the wheel. To get this off of here, we have 5 21mm lug nuts to be removed, and we can remove that wheel. If you find your wheel stuck in place, install one of your lug nuts, and we're going to have to use a rubber mallet along the back side of the wheel to tap this free. Typically, it should just slide out of position. Now with the wheel off, we have a clear view of our rear shock. We have upper hardware and lower hardware. Let's start down at the bottom. For the removal of the lower shock hardware, you're going to find that you have a 15mm bolt that comes through from the outboard side, straight through the rear differential bracket and the shock, out through the opposite side. There is also going to be an emergency brake cable bracket. On the far side, an 18mm mounting nut. Let's remove the hardware and remove the bracket. As we move to the upper hardware, you're going to find that you have an 18mm headed mounting bolt that goes all the way through this area. It goes through the frame of the body here, it goes through the shock, and on the far side, inboard side that is, we have a 21mm mounting nut. So I'm using my wrench over there, and I'm using my 18mm socket here. When you start to loosen this hardware, you may find that the shock moves on you. Just be careful not to get hurt. There's my mounting nut from the inboard side. The shock can move. We're holding onto the shock, preventing it from falling, and we can continue on fully removing the mounting bolt. You're going to find that this is a fairly large bolt. There's that mounting bolt. As I mentioned, it's fairly long. A close inspection, if it looks like it's rotted and weak, you need to replace it. Let's go ahead and remove that shock. We're pulling it straight down and out. There it is, friend. Now, prior to installation of any brand new part, let's make sure we clean and inspect our mounting area. We'll start up along the top. In this area, we need to make sure we clean the body of the vehicle. We're heading towards the frame on the inboard side right here. I'm just going to use a wire brush. Just give it a quick scuffing here. We want to make sure nothing's rotted or weak. Careful for any sharp edges. This is looking good. Let's make our way to the lower mounting point next. Let's get this emergency brake bracket as well. That feels good. Let's prepare our brand new shock for installation. I have this down on the floor in between my feet. I'm going to carefully start compressing this down as far as I can here. We'll remove our protective strap. Once you've done that, you're going to find that the shock will want to extend. We need to let that completely extend to its fully outright position, then recompress. We're going to repeat this process several times. You'll find that it does this action faster every time you do it. All right, so this is getting a lot more firm, which is exactly what we're looking for. Once this fully expands, we can get this installed in the vehicle. Perfect. Now that we've done that, let's start installing the rear shock. We're starting up along the top, so I'm just carefully bringing this up into position. We have our long mounting bolt. That's going to go straight on through from the outboard side towards the inboard side. I have aligned my mounting bolt port. I've cleaned the mounting bolt. Slide it straight on through. Now at this point, I'm just going to start on my mounting nut here. Let's make our way down to the bottom. Now down along the bottom of the shock, we need to bring this over towards the bracket on the bottom of our rear differential tube. We need to carefully align it. You may have to raise or lower that rear shock to get it aligned. Typically, it will have to be raised. Once we have it in the proper position, we can start sliding that bolt through from the outboard side to the inboard side. Of course, we do have our emergency brake cable to deal with as well. Now I can see that I am through. On the far side, emergency brake cable like I mentioned. Let's get that mounting nut on there. We'll start snugging and torquing from down along the bottom. Once we have this bottomed out, we're torquing it to 81 foot-pounds. Let's make our way to the upper hardware next. All the way up at the top, I'm going to be holding the bolt head on the outboard side with my 18mm wrench. On the inboard side, we can snug that hardware with our 21, and we're torquing that to 129 foot-pounds. Let's hold on to that wrench. Let's go ahead and torque that. Now, one last quick inspection while we're still here, and we can reinstall our wheel. To install our wheel, we're going to carefully get it in place, resting it over each one of our lug studs. We'll start on each one of our 21mm lug nuts. Bottom them out in a crisscross manner, we can get the wheel back on the ground, and we'll torque each of the lug nuts to 148 foot-pounds. The wheel's back on the ground. Let's go ahead and torque these to 148 foot-pounds in a crisscross manner. Torqued. If you have a hubcap, install that now. Now, when we go to install our hubcap, we want to make sure we have it in the proper orientation. The wheel will have a valve stem, and the hubcap will have a port for that. Let's bring this over. We're aligning the valve stem with the port so we can easily gain access, and then we'll tap this into place. Double check to make sure it's secured all the way around. Okay, friend, we showed you the installation for one side of the vehicle's rear shock. Whenever you do these, you do them as a pair, and the process will be the same. Once you've completed that, you want to take your vehicle for a road test. You're going to listen for any odd noises, and it's a good idea to get yourself in alignment. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.